Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. I'll tell you what, we've had a little bit of a hiatus, and I take all blame. First Bo Nix went down, severe depression hit, and then, we see this Pro Bowl, whatever the heck that is these days. And then the dang Super Bowl that we could have won. I mean, I'm probably being a little bit exaggerative there, but after seeing them perform, there's no way we could have done worse. Tell me, VMAC, how you doing today?
I'm good. I'm good. Well, not that there are allegations out there, but we'll address them head on. We were not on hiatus because the Broncos lost. Life be lifing, all right? So just back off first off. Let's start there. Back off. We'll break down, our take on it. We'll break down this Super Bowl where we helped the Seahawks get to the darn Super Bowl. They had two starters based off our trade, and both of them played well, by the way. I'm like, oh my goodness. Aside from that, we're here. I gotta give my budget tips out there. This is what I do. This is what people come here for. And if you are people listening out there live or catching a replay, hit the subscribe button. As soon as we get to 50 subs, we're gonna travel to Serbia. Maybe not, but I'm just throwing that out there. So budget tips for Valentine's, and I'm not talking about the special ladies out there in your life. I'm talking about father-daughter dance at churches. Valentine's season is the time to hit up Google and search father-daughter dance at churches. See if you can get yourself a nice little free date for you and your daughter. So check it out there for budget tips. And then I also want to I want to shout out here. I'm going to shout out all the people that actually purchase gift bags. I personally can't even remember the last time I bought a gift bag, but I have a closet full of them. So I appreciate you out there for birthdays, for Christmas, whoever it is out there that actually buys these gift bags. Just know as soon as you give them to me, they go straight to the closet and then we hand it out to somebody else. So I appreciate you out there. Whoever that is, keep buying them because I need them. So sharing some love for them out there.
Hey, that's some good repurposing right there. For the longest time, I used Albertsons bags, but they did away with those here in Colorado. Can't do that stuff anymore. We grew up with an Albertsons, so I would call them all Albertsons bags, whether they're Walmart, King Supers, or whatever. But yeah, we went clean out here, so it's all the paper bags or the reusable bags. And hey, I may like you, but I'm not about to spend $1 for your bag. So it might be a newspaper or something like that.
When I went out there recently, I was like, "What is going on?" I just jammed everything back in the cart and just threw it in the back. Even
Yeah,
if I have to bring things in two hands at a time, I will not give you a dime for a bag. It's not happening on my watch.
right. That's a fact. So tell me, VMAC, it's all settled in. How do we feel, firstly, about the AFC Championship?
Oh my goodness. Yeah, what was funny is as I was watching the game, for some odd reason, I still felt like we had a chance, even though clearly looking back, we weren't going to beat that team because you know everything was lined up against us at that moment. You have the starting quarterback out, Sean Payton. He could sell a used car like nobody's business. Like if I would have went to a used car lot, Sean Payton would have told me, "Hey, this car over here is going to run just fine. This
This
car, this car might make it 5, maybe 10 years."
this
And I would have
Chevy Nova
believed,
right here.
man, I believed every word that came from that used car salesman's mouth. It was nowhere near. And you can say what you want about, oh, this is his first game back. I mean, his first game starting in 3 years. It's the AFC Championship game. He was making rookie mistakes. Rookie mistakes.
I tell you what,
So
Cam Newton would have looked awfully good, wouldn't he have?
we called it here. We said if at minimum you bring in Cam Newton for 4th and 1, what was the most important play in that game? 4th and 1, we're up 7-0. I have no problem whatsoever with them going for it. Some people say, why do you go for it, kick the field goal? You go for it because this is to go to the Super Bowl.
I
You're
was
at
fine with
home.
it too.
You're at home. You're on what, the 12-yard line, whatever it was. You go for the win. So I have no problem going for the win. I have a huge problem with the play call. But man, Cam Newton in his number one Superman jersey, doing a quick little, quarterback sneak, sure would have looked nice right there.
Yeah, man,
Nope.
it's pretty depressing to me to. So first off, I was kind of providing some false hope for that last game. I told you before we even did the show that my motivation for the team itself was kind of in the gutters. And I was sitting there watching, and unfortunately, I was just nitpicking where I'm like, oh gosh, this guy is just not going to get it done. And then I see the back pedal. Not, I mean, that wasn't the only time he did it, but and it was like I was watching with my buddy Robbie, and I told him I was like, it's one thing to backpedal and try to escape or something like that, but he was doing it with half steps and like almost as if he didn't know how to get away. And it was like, dude, what are you doing? You're taking half steps trying to back out of the pocket. Like, what are you doing? And yeah, it's just that play that I still don't think should have been ruled a fumble. That was just the straw that broke the camel's back. As soon as that happened,
Yep.
I knew it was it.
Yeah, that's what cost us the game. He easily could have taken a intentional grounding, easily could have taken a sack,
Done anything but what he did.
anything but what he did, and that lost us the game. And I agree, there was times where it was like, hey man, just step up in the pocket and maybe just see what happens. Instead, it was let me, try and get around the edge. Let me what seemed like 3/4 speed around the edge.
It
Like
was like he was
it never really
shuffling,
felt.
dude. It was so weird.
Yeah, it didn't feel like a full sprint. So obviously quarterback play let us down. Defense did what they needed to do in that moment. Um, the absence of J.K. Dobbins or any other effective running back hurt us. But then I also look at the game plan. So what we have at minimum a heavy package where we could bring in Crumb at minimum because we saw it. We saw it the week before where Crumb, or I don't know if it's a week or two. Yeah, it's a week before against Buffalo. Crumb scores a touchdown.
Yeah.
So at minimum, we have a heavy package. How many times did we see that?
I
I
don't
maybe
recall.
once,
Yeah.
maybe twice. Meanwhile, the other side of the ball, the Patriots are bringing in what felt like 2 or 3 extra offensive linemen and just pounding it in the weather. Like, we can't make that same adjustment and say, you know what, he's not our guy. He's not gonna win us this game. So Stiddy is not gonna do it. Like, let's bring in some different formations or extra linemen and see if we can't beat this team up, which is what happened to us, and we just couldn't reciprocate. And I don't know if that's Peyton's just stubbornness that, hey, I'm a pass first guy, and Stiddy can win this game for us even though it's a near blizzard. What ticked me off even more, and you can argue whether or not you think it was deserved or not, but you fire your offensive coordinator. I didn't I can't recall the last time they cut to the sidelines and showed anybody other than old Sean Payton looking over the bridge of his glasses at his play card calling plays.
Yeah.
I cannot remember the entire season anybody but him calling plays. Two, you sold this whole thing of, hey, the first free agent I signed was Stiddy. You clearly didn't prep him the way everybody said you were prepping him because he looked like a deer in the headlights out there. And then you fire your offensive coordinator. Like,
Yeah.
make it make sense for me, Bronco fans.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to say whether the move was specifically so they could keep Webb, which I don't get why Webb is such a hot name. Apparently, he interviewed for like 3 head coaching jobs when he was just a QB coach, and he's like 27 years old. Like, it's kind of wild to me. But you had mentioned how Stidham looked like a rookie, and I'm going to bring up an actual rookie that unfortunately has never played in the snow because this was a winter that was not very cold this year. Man, RJ Harvey didn't know how to run in the snow, man. He would like try to slow down so he could like make a cut or anything. Meanwhile, the guys are just running straight at him and tackling him. That really hurt to see because, like, I pictured in my mind, CJ Anderson hitting the corner and just going, and RJ just does not know how to run in snow yet, and it really freaking hurt, and it's just very bad timing. Also worth mentioning, and what kind of frustrated me was, so like watching the difference between the Broncos game and the Seahawk game, I saw kind of a big difference between our two defenses. We were able to limit the Patriots to what was it? I don't even remember now. It was like four. It was 10 points. I can't remember. Right? 10. Yeah, it was 10 points.
10-7.
Yep. So we limited them to 10 points, which is great and everything like that. But I tell you what, we didn't get near the pressure that Seattle did. Like,
True.
he was freaking rattled in that game, in that Super Bowl. Like, I recall, I even remember like just basically them not being able to get home to Drake in our game, and it just kind of shows the difference between the two defenses, which kind of shocked me. But yeah, speaking of the Super Bowl, do you have any takes from that?
Yeah, we'll see what the two rookie offensive linemen from the Patriots do. So they're left, I think it was left guard, left tackle, both rookies. Absolutely horrible games. Horrendous games, false starts, blow bys, getting knocked on your back. Just horrible games. They're
Yeah.
rookies, so they got time to develop. But wow, I really can't remember a time I've seen at the NFL level, let alone the Super Bowl. Just the NFL
Michael
level,
Schofield.
like honestly, like that level of just getting absolutely dominated by anybody they put on your side. It wasn't like it was just one edge rusher from Seattle that just had an absolutely dominant. No, everybody they put over on that side just put in work on those two kids. No idea what they're doing. Obviously, they got a long way to go. Everybody's so excited. It's like you never know. Joe Burrow hasn't been back to a Super Bowl. So, and I'm sorry, Drake May is not Joe Burrow. He's
Yeah.
not. He's good, but he's not. To me, he's not on Joe Burrow's level. So that was, one takeaway is we'll see how those two develop as they, you know, get more time under the belt. But they got absolutely destroyed on that side. Oddly enough, the game really wasn't out of grasp until somehow, some way, he thought with 13 minutes left to just start airing it into quadruple coverage. The game was like there was, if they make a play or two, you never know what might happen. But it was almost like he just kind of gave up, or McDaniels gave up on trying to coach him on what he needs to do. But it didn't seem as far out of reach until he started just jacking the ball up and forget what happens. Almost like what Stidham did on his late interception. But I'll stop talking about that.
Yeah, so there was a few fourth down and ones that New England was conservative on and punted, and I was like, you can't do that at this point in the game. Like, you need to go for it. And I can't remember the name of that head coach. What's his name again? Vrabel. Um,
Yep.
you I understand you're a defensive coach, but come on, dude, you're in the Super Bowl. You've got to get some type of momentum. Like, I think those things killed him. You had mentioned the left tackle. I can't remember his name off the top of my head, but I read that he gave up 12 pressures, which is crazy in a single game. And he's the guy that I remember coming out in the draft. They said that his arms were like super short. So like, here's the deal: you're a guard now. Like, if I'm that franchise, I overpaid for a left or right guard, and I'm gonna try to for a tackle again because you can't do it again. You can't run that back.
Yeah, yeah.
um,
He's a good dude. I've seen a couple interviews of him when he was back in college. Just he's seems like a good dude, but he
yeah,
got destroyed.
yeah, but I mean, in my opinion, it's just like short arms don't work in the NFL for a tackle
Yeah,
because a tackle needs their box is just so much wider than a guard is, and they just need to be able to cover more ground. So that's why I would say I'd move him. But to tell you the truth, Seattle, like, I don't think. I mean, I basically they just needed to make sure not to beat themselves in that game
oh
because
yeah,
New England was just that bad, and it was probably the most boring Super Bowl I've ever seen. I'm sure there's some that are maybe more boring, but as far as the product on the field, it was tough to watch.
yeah. I mean, I'm glad we didn't go there with Stidham because it would have been another 43-8 type situation.
You're
Um,
probably right. But Bo would have
I,
been
I
back.
wish I
Remember?
wish we would have had
Remember your
Bo. I would.
conspiracy? No.
Hey, he may have found a way to get out there, shoot him up with some cortisol. Um,
Uh,
but it was you have an MVP who didn't score a touchdown. So the most valuable player of the Super Bowl didn't even an offensive player didn't even score a touchdown. So right there, that kind of tells you how exciting the game was. They gave an MVP to a guy who didn't even score a touchdown.
I tell you what, though,
Two,
he was brutal.
oh, he deserved it. I'm not
He
saying
was
he didn't
running.
deserve
He
it,
was
but
running so well. He's a free agent this year.
yep. You had a kicker who broke the record. I think he broke the record for most field goals in the Super Bowl. So that tells you how
Right.
exciting it was.
Exactly.
You
Yeah.
know, we'll never know, but the Super Bowl should have been Broncos Seahawks. Um, if you even go far back, nobody will ever talk about it, but the Seahawks 2-point conversion against the Rams in the regular season, where the ball uh, hits the ground and Charbonnet picks it up and runs in, and nobody was even doing anything. That gave them home field advantage, in the conference championship over the Rams,
Yep.
which playing in Seattle, no doubt, is tough to play.
Yeah.
Because I mean, everybody was talking about that defense, but Stafford put up like 500 yards 2 weeks earlier. I know Puka, Stafford, and Devontae is that's a formidable offense, but it's like the defense wasn't like complete world beaters against everybody. Stafford showed that.
Yeah.
Is Bo Nix Stafford? No, but could he have made a better performance than Drake May did? I think so. If he's healthy,
Yeah.
I think it would have been a much better Super Bowl.
Yeah. And part of the reason why I was just so gut wrenched when Bo went down was specifically because they found the way to put themselves in the number one spot. And I mean, you've probably heard me say it before. I do think seating matters. I do think that those things are important, and it's going to be so tough to get that particular situation again. And the same goes for the Nuggets, which we're going to be switching to in a moment. Like, they are going to not be playing with the top seed, and it just makes the road so much harder. And I hope that we get a chance to get back to another AFC championship, let alone a Super Bowl. It's not a given, you know. So yeah, that's just what's so tough. And honestly, with Bo's injury, who knows what kind of health he's going to be dealing with the rest of his career. So um, yeah, definitely wasted year, unfortunately, in terms of that timing. But I tell you what, I stand by. I think Cam Newton would have won us that game. Like, if he was the starter, I just don't think there's you could do quarterback counters, quarterbacks. You know what I mean? Like, good luck stopping Cam for at least 2-3 yards. Like, but I don't know.
At minimum, he would have got us that first down.
At
At
minimum,
minimum.
yeah, yeah. So and we
Whatever
would
else happens in that game, I don't know.
and
But
we
at
we would have had
minimum, he gets us that
we
first
would have
down.
had someone to turn to when the backpedal fumble happened. But anyways, I digress. We got the Nuggets. They are actually, I don't know, they're kind of like a cardiac team in terms of, I feel like they're going to pull off some dubs and then they end up losing it in the final seconds. But overall, they did well with Jokic out and then kind of some bumpy roads right now. Title of the stream is Watson down. Unfortunately, it seems like he's going to be out a month. At least that was the last thing I had seen. This team just can't get right, if you get what I mean. But as
Mhm.
far as the recent stretch, you got any takes on that?
Yeah, so 35-20 heading into the All-Star break. So, no matter what way you slice that, on pace for 50 plus wins, right? They win what? If they go 15-12 the rest of the season, which I don't think that'll happen. I think they'll probably be more in like that
55.
20, like maybe 19-8, 20-9 type stuff. They're on pace for a 50 plus win season. So, no matter what way you look at it, with all the injuries we've had, you can't be too dissatisfied with that. The challenge, the challenge we have is all year we were supposed to be building chemistry with a mostly new roster in the sense of you have a lot of new faces,
Yeah.
and we've maybe had 10 games with our entire team, if that. I don't even know if it'd be 10 games. Um, with the people we want to play. And now you're in a space where it's like you don't want to rush Gordon back because he's messed his hamstring up twice now. Jalen Williams, by the way, for OKC, just did the same thing, blew his hamstring out twice now in a month
Dang.
span. So you don't want to rush him back, but you want to build chemistry going into the playoffs. You don't want to rush Peyton Watson back, but you want to build chemistry going into the playoffs. So it's going to be tough to make the judgment call on when to bring them back and when to start gelling, because you also want to start shrinking, your players a little bit. Like, as much as I love seeing Pickett getting some minutes when everybody was hurt, like, do we really expect Pickett to come in against OKC? I mean, if we do, probably because somebody's hurt, not because it was like a, hey, let's see what fire Pickett can bring into the game. And
Yeah.
really, it's probably the same with Strother. I know Strother got some minutes last year, and had a flurry in one game. Maybe he scored like 10. It wasn't like he put 25 up, but you probably don't want to see him too much in a series like against OKC or the Spurs or whatever the case is. So I'm very curious what they do. What I would say overall this season is, um, they're not a they're not a defensive they're not a defensive team really in any way, shape, or form. Their perimeter defense is just incredibly bad. Yeah, we might be the top in the NBA for threes, but I wouldn't doubt if we're also near the top in threes allowed, because they cannot play perimeter defense very well. Jokic, I'm hoping just as he gets back from his injury, gets in a little better shape, can not sag so much, because he likes hanging back a little bit, but like again, they're just teams are taking advantage of it and they're just jacking threes up.
Yeah.
So there's a lot going on. There's about 20, what did I say? There's 22 games, 22, or what? Where are they at? 35. So 27 games ish
Sounds
left
about right.
until the playoffs. So, what do you think?
Yeah. So, I mean, first and foremost with the defense, it definitely is hard to tell because I mean, most of the guys that we rely on for actually being like our defenders have never really been on the court all together at once, if you get what I mean. So like with
Sure.
Aaron Gordon out, with Christian Brown out, with Cam out, Um, those would be our three guys that would kind of help to limit those things. So it's hard to tell. Now, am I saying that that would push them up to a top 10? No. Um, but it would moderately make them better. And you know how threes are.
Agreed.
You limit a little bit of it, and it kind of has an exponential effect in terms of less momentum from the other team and things of that nature. So, do I like I said, I don't think it's going to be we're going to be world beaters or anything like that, but I think we're going to move up to maybe middle of the pack once we get a full rotation, if we get a full rotation. Just because of the hustle of Aaron Gordon and Cam and Christian put together. Now,
Yeah.
if Christian continues his struggles when Peyton Watson comes back, do I want to see him in the starting lineup? Yes. Like, yes. I, I, it just sucks because I feel like we're going to lose him this summer. No
Yeah.
choice in the matter. Another thing that really sucks is there was some really good names on the buyout market, and ownership's not willing to put money out. I don't, I don't understand. Like, I do under. So you and I had talked briefly about the trade that happened. I actually called it before it even happened. Hunter Tyson for cash. And that's what ended up going down. They sent off a second round or two. I think it was a second round swap basically, and that just basically got him underneath the apron. And I understand you don't want to be a repeat offender next year, because no matter what, you're going to be in the luxury next year because of the contracts that you put together. So I understand why the move was made, and I don't understand how NBA cap works in terms of if the league, like, basically if you get penalized for things that happen after the trade deadline. I don't know, but man, one of the there's guys out there that could make this a contender. Like, can you imagine? I know he's young and probably not a good piece at the moment, but like Sochan or whatever his name is, like, just the energy the guy provides, like,
Yeah.
22 years old, he could be a mainstay if you just, took a flyer. But I mean, he's not even the main name. There's like I'm gonna butcher his name. I think he's like Chris Boucher or something like that. I can't remember if that's his name or not, but he's a power
Yeah. I think
forward.
you're right.
He's a power forward, and that would be. I mean, when Aaron Gordon's out, it seems like we have a hole there. So there's just so many needs that. Well, I shouldn't say so many needs. This year we're more well prepared if health smiles on us than we have been in previous years. And I tell you what, the unsung hero, and I think you and I talked this about this a while back, is Tim Hardaway Jr. Like, just pure consistency from the guy. He just kind of does what we need, and he's just stepped up so big in everybody's absences. So I'm just thankful we were able to get that good of a shooter off free agency for pennies on the dollar, if you get what I mean.
Yeah, and he takes the challenge defensively. He doesn't he doesn't shy or back down or ole anybody.
I wonder
Just
I wonder if they'll end up putting him in the starting lineup in the playoffs, or if they want to make sure they get that spark.
tough to say. I'm very curious where they're at, and you bring up a great point, right? So if we have Christian Braun healthy, Peyton Watson healthy, Aaron Gordon healthy, and Cam, the defense does look a lot different with those guys. It just does. And you can throw Spencer Jones in that mix. After he's no longer a two-way guy. They
Yep.
they officially signed him.
Yep.
And the other piece that you can just tell we're missing,
Zeke
and it's
Naji.
crazy to
No,
say
I'm
because
just
our
kidding.
offense is right. Well, it's crazy to say because our offense is so efficient right now, but Aaron Gordon in that dunker position is
Yep.
is missed like incredible. It changes the offense so much. They have like they have to respect him on that baseline, and right now defenses don't have to do that with the two-man game between Jokic and Murray. So it's putting a lot more stress and pressure on Jokic to navigate traffic as he gets into the paint versus when Aaron Gordon's back there, just lob city. So that'll be something I'm looking forward to once he gets healthy. Like you said, hopefully he gets healthy. The piece that we have 3 more games against OKC, and the one game we just played against, we just got absolutely dominated, which seems to be what happens to us on our home floor, anyways.
Hmm.
Um, Jokic was taken completely out of his game, and I get he's coming off injury and whatnot, but Hartenstein and Williams, and to a degree, Chet doesn't really mix it up with Jokic too much. He was more busy trying to get them fouls or get calls against them than he was playing the darn game. So I really hope as the OK series and games that come up again, we see a different Jokic who's not taking things personally to go after them. He's taking things personally to win. That's what I want to see.
I can't remember what it was, but they made a trade too for a big man. Was it Plumlee?
Yep, yep.
See, and like to me, that's an under the radar move. Like that doesn't move the needle to a lot of people, but to me, it does. When we struggled against the Lakers in the Western Conference Finals, they just kept throwing bigs at Jokic. It didn't matter, just all game, you're gonna face two bigs all game, and
Hmm.
I think that that is a recipe for success against the Nuggets. So I'm definitely, you know, it concerns me more about that matchup. Not that I didn't have concerns, I just more or less mean that I think that they're even tougher out now. So we got to hope to get that 2 seed and then just basically square off against them in the Western Conference Finals and hope we can punch them right in the mouth. That's just basically the hopes right now. But who knows? Maybe we watch this team over to the home stretch and then they start clicking, getting healthy, putting it all together, and we get that same feeling. We're like, oh, whoa, this team can do it. Um, to be quite frank, right now, I don't see that. And like, for example, the year they won the championship, every time we found ways to win close games, and I just don't see that from this team yet. And I do think that that's a valuable trait. Like, kind of that's why I had so much faith in the Broncos before Bo went down, is because they found ways to win those close games. Like they dropped a few in the early, but then they really figured it out. I just think it's a championship trait, so I'm hoping down the home stretch we see that. And then I don't know if you saw, but Jamal Murray is going to be in the 3-point competition. Kind of cool. He's an all-star. Got to give kudos to Jamal. And see, the thing is, Jamal, like, I love watching you. Like, you're probably the best point guard to ever wear a Nuggets uniform. Like, and that I know I'm downplaying Chauncey and AI, but like from let's say from like a legacy standpoint, like when he's said and done, when he retires, like he's probably the best point guard to ever wear the Nuggets jersey. Especially since those other guys like did most of their damage elsewhere. Now Chauncey was, I'd say, the smartest. AI was the flashiest, but Jamal's just been, he's solid. So um, Jamal, as much frustrations as I've given you over the years, that's me giving you your flowers right now.
Well, we called them out right early in the year, and we just asked for playoff level effort all year long, which is not easy to do. I'm not saying that there's a lot of guys in the NBA that can do that, but that's exactly what he's given this year. And he made an interesting comment. He said, "Hey, getting an All Star is great, but I'm really, trying to go for All Pro because, All Star is an award for basically what you've done midway through the season, and All Pro is for something you've done the entire season." So that was cool to hear, and I hope that he gets. I hope that he gets that because he's played really really well. Um, did everything we needed from him when Jokic went down. Still is playing consistently when Jokic is back. So if they're going to turn it on, right, this is typically when teams turn it on. Like after the All Star break, this is where you got to be playing your best basketball. You're all right. All the funny games from the first half of the season are done. It's time to lock in as the kids say. It's time to lock in. Well, time to lock in, boys. Like you got some tough games coming up. Like you said, you got OKC 3 times. I believe Lakers a couple times. I think we're done with the Rockets. I'm sure we play the Spurs a couple more times. And those are your barometers. If we get blown out in those games, it's not a good look. Healthy or not, there's no reason we should be getting blown out really in any game as long as you have Jokic and Murray on the floor.
Yeah. Yeah, that's awesome to hear that that was his approach to all pro as opposed to all star. Because here's my mindset on the numer is what I'm going to call it. If he's used to this being his average and this being his floor, well then when he actually steps his game up, it's going to be another level. And I think that he's not going to basically shrink back down to below average play in the playoffs if he's used to maintaining this caliber of play. So really hopeful on that, and definitely looking forward to the playoffs to come if that's his mindset on everything. Because I think we're gonna see potentially his best playoff run, even though that's hard to say with the bubble run that he had.
Right. Well, let me run you
But
through the games.
consistency is key.
Yeah, right. Can you maintain this? Because we know we've seen it from Minnesota, we've seen it from OKC. They're gonna pick him up full court, and we gotta. He's either got to find a way to fight through it, or we got to figure out a different strategy to keep his energy level there. But I'm curious. Let me run you through the rest of our games here, and just give me a quick win loss. We got at Clippers,
Win,
at Portland,
win,
at Golden State,
win.
home versus Boston.
I'm gonna give it a loss there.
Okay, 3-1. At OKC,
Loss.
3-2. At home versus Minnesota.
We've been playing that crap at home. I'm giving it another loss.
Okay. At Utah.
Win,
At home versus LA.
win,
At home versus New York.
loss,
At OKC.
loss,
Home against Houston.
win,
At San Antonio.
I'm gonna give it another loss.
At LA.
Win,
Home against Phoenix. Or sorry, Philly.
win,
At Memphis.
win,
Home against Toronto.
win,
Home against Portland.
win,
At Phoenix.
win,
Home against Dallas.
win,
Home against Utah.
win,
Home against Golden State.
win,
At Utah.
win,
Home against San Antonio.
loss,
Home against Portland.
win,
Home against Memphis.
win,
Home against OKC.
loss.
And at San Antonio.
I feel like that was way too many games.
That's what we got left.
Loss. So I think I had 18 wins and 9 losses, I think. That's right? Because 27 games left, right?
Yep.
So I mean, if we play at that clip, that'll work.
That would put us at a 53 win team.
Yeah. Which I think is reasonable.
You see though that we have some tough games.
There's some very tough games. So like for example, some of those, like I just feel confident against the Lakers. I know you don't. Um, but I also feel confident against the Rockets, and I know that's probably a flip for you. I do not feel confident against the Spurs. I think that their
Wemby.
speed, Wemby and their speed. I told you when they got De'Aaron Fox that I hated that because he's one of the few point guards that Jamal Murray cannot keep up with. And we honestly just don't have a guy that's fast enough for him. So,
We're gonna play him 3 times. So
yeah, I tell you what though, if we can somehow leapfrog the Spurs, I'm going to be really happy with the 2 seed. Like, um, it's just going to be tough to leapfrog the Spurs. It's kind of crazy that Wemby's already arrived. I expected it to take a few years.
mhm.
Um, I guess is this his third year? It is, right?
Yeah, because he was injured
Injured
basically
all
that
of
whole
last
first
year,
year, right?
or that was his second year, right? That he was injured.
One of them, he missed basically a whole season. Yeah.
Yeah, I think he's in his third year, which I guess it makes sense. But geez, man, like, and the thing that separates him is um how he works on his body and stuff like that. He like you always see him stretching, you always see him doing interesting things to kind of keep limber. I think the guy's just gonna be really freaking good, and we're all gonna be dealing with that for. Luckily, our windows
Yeah.
when he's in his prime, our window's gonna be closed.
Yeah.
So we won't be crying about it too much, but yeah,
Yeah. So we're 4 games back from him in the loss column.
yeah,
Play them 3 times, so you can obviously make up some ground there. And I agree. If we can play a play-in team instead of seeing what would be LA or Minnesota in the first round potentially,
yeah,
I would much rather be playing Phoenix or Golden State than seeing Edwards or Luca in the first round. So
yeah,
please, if we can find a way to not see those two in the first round, that'd be great.
yeah.
But
Minnesota
yeah,
still
I
scares
maybe
me.
yeah. I mean, they've
Um,
been to the conference finals 2 years in a row,
yeah, Minnesota actually scares me. Well, they weren't to the conference finals last year.
and the year before.
Oh, I guess I'm mixing it up. My bad. But yeah, I could very well see Minnesota going all the way, and then everyone be forgetting all about the Thunder. You know what I mean? Because
Yeah,
like Ant is
yeah.
just
They
that
lost to
good,
Dallas.
man.
They lost to Luca 2 years ago, and then they lost to OKC last year. So it's he can definitely make a run in the playoffs, and I've said he's disappeared in the conference finals. If you look at his stats, like he's not
Hmm.
played like Ant. So it's a tough year. We've talked about this.
Yeah. Well, and really, what it comes down to is health, like we talked about.
Hmm.
Because if we can get healthy, we finally have depth, and we can actually. And here's the other thing. Like you mentioned, how you don't want to see Strother or Pickett in the playoffs. I'm kind of the opposite. I want to see them for 5 minutes apiece. I want them to force. I want the Nuggets so Adelman. I want him to force rest on the starters because I'm
That's
tired of
fair.
I'm tired of seeing them just getting worn out, and then Game 7 they have nothing left, and I
Hmm.
I just I don't want to see the same thing that I've seen the past 2 years happen again.
That makes sense. I'm with you on that. Like we got to find a way to sit Jokic and like I don't understand why they don't just sit Jokic and Murray at the same time. He
Well,
likes to
especially since the
stagger them.
stagger doesn't work very well. Like it'd be one thing if
No.
Murray would just go off, but
Hmm.
he doesn't. So just rest both of them. Let Gordon, uh, Tim Hardaway Jr. Like do a unique combo that doesn't require those two on the court, and then just let's be elite when they're on the court. But yeah, it's tough. I can't remember who we're playing next. You already said it, didn't you?
Yeah, it's still after the All Star break, so they're off until next
Gotcha.
week. Um,
I got to try to get some. I got to see if Bobby would want to go to Nuggets Jazz game. That'd be solid.
Talk some trash.
Exactly.
Although he'd be happy if the Jazz lost those, so there is
Right.
that.
Oh, but he'd be elated if they won, though. So it'll be. So the Clippers are coming up
He's in a
after the
win-win.
right. So February 19th, we got the Clippers. As far as the Broncos go, there's lots of free agents. We'll see who they decide to bring back. It's going to be interesting. It looks like they're sitting at about 29 million in cap, so not a whole lot unless they restructure some contracts or make some cuts or something like that. It'll be
Yeah.
interesting to see the offseason they got in front of them.
Yeah, they'll give it the Nuggets treatment of let's just run it back.
Oh, I'd be sad because I feel like their ownership is just a little bit better, just a little bit. Not that the
They got
Crockies are
they
bad.
got
You know, we could have a lot worse owners. We could have the Montforts in there, but I think
this is true.
they're willing to spend that money,
Well, it's so funny. It's all Walmart money either way. So
right? Yeah. So
It's-
so
I know Crocky's just got his through, the family, not directly from it. He's got through it.
right. I tell you what, Walton Penner, like I will go to Walmart and contribute as often as possible.
Oh yeah.
You know, like just as long as you make sure this free agency is nice and prime.
Please, like you're there, you've seen it. And this is their last chance before we have to re-up Mr. Nix. So,
Yep.
cuz you don't want to you don't want to let him go into what that would be his 5th year, not next year but the year following.
Yeah. It'd be a 5th year option, and then you have to worry about whether the contract's going to be so outrageous that you won't even be able to have any rest of your team. You know.
Well, that's what I'm saying. They won't let it go to that option. They'll sign him in that 4th year at some point in time, mid season probably, and lock him up for the next 4 to 5. But yeah, I'll take a spending spree. I love spending other people's money. So
Heck yeah. Well, guys, if you've made it to this point, make sure you're liking, commenting, subscribing, do all those things because we're here for the people. We, as Vinny said, we're trying to go to Serbia, and it requires a certain amount of subscribers. We need to try to bombard Jokic on his home court and play some pickup because I saw he did that a few times. Because I know Vinny's dying to post him up.
yeah, we need either 50 subs or we need to win Mr. Beast's competition for a milli. So whichever one comes first.
Yeah, we've got options on the table. The Winter Olympics are going on, so go ahead and catch that while the Nuggets are on a break and the Broncos are on a break. You know, when in doubt, you can watch some curling. That's some riveting stuff.
And they're with you.
Right on, guys. Hey, thanks for joining us. I hope you guys have a great night, and until next time.